So let's take a look at how physics can be applied in Unreal Engine. So let's take a look at this cube right here. If I run up to it and I try to push it, it does not move. And that is because if I go over here to details, physics right here has not been enabled. So I'll go ahead and check that. And now physics will be applied. So I can come up and I can push the cube around. So that is the main part. Where do you set the physics? The next thing I want to do is real quick go through some of the basic options that you see down here. So I've still got the cube selected over there. I'm going to turn on mass. The default is 100. I'm going to change it down to 20 and show you what happens here. Run up, push it, and it moves kind of crazy. So now we come back over here, and how about we change some of these values? So these are a little bit strange. We've got linear damping and angular damping. So linear is going to be any forward motion, angular is anything twisting. Now, the part that's going to be kind of weird, I'll show you here in a second, is that the linear damping seems like it's mass. But then you'll think, well, okay, I get it. It's kind of like friction. And you could think of it that way, but I'm going to show you something in a minute that proves that that is not what's happening. So go ahead and change the linear damping to 10. Come out here and push the cube. So now it's acting pretty strange, you see? And so what's going on here is I've got a very light cube. The linear damping is in effect. However, since there is no angular damping, any off-axis force gets fully put into a spin and it kind of goes crazy. So I'd like to forward the rest of this with the fact that this is not for Earth physics. These are going to be weird. So you could look at that and say, well, that's not right. It's like, it's Unreal Engine. What's your world like? If you want something to behave that way, this is a way you could get that done. So I'm going to change the mass back to 100, show you how this works. So you see, it's moving slowly, not much different seemingly than when it was at 100, but I will real quickly set this back to defaults, go forward and push it. See how it doesn't bobble around quite as much? We'll put this back up to 10 and we'll change the angular damping to 20. So to help understand this a little bit better than just shoving it around on the floor, let's go ahead and try another experiment. So I've got this tower and another cube up here. So I'm going to change the physics to the same as it was. I'm going to leave this at 100, 10, and we'll say 20. So hit play, and now watch. I'm going to push this forward. See that? See it just tipping off the edge? Then I'm going to jump off the side here. And you see what's happening? So this is a pretty big reason why you might not want to use the linear and angular damping, because again, you might think that it's acting like friction and that's what you want to have. However, if you're ever going to be in a situation where you're going to kick it, shove it off a roof or something, it's going to look like you've slowed down gravity. Now also, did you notice how it wasn't rotating? That was because the angular damping on that object was set so high. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a block here to give it something to actually hit so it can start rotating. If you're trying to check or test the angular damping, if it just falls off the edge here, if there's nothing for it to hit, there'd be no reason for it to start spinning, and then you wouldn't be able to see what the angular damping is actually doing. So hit play. Shove that off the edge. And there we go. So now let's go back, click on the cube, turn off angular damping. You see, now we get a bit more rotation. Let's drop the linear damping to 5. Play. Be careful shoving it off the edge here. And it picks up a bit more pace. And then I've got one last one to show you here. I am going to click on the first cube, and we have a setting of 100, 10, and 20. We'll knock this back down to 10, and I'm going to turn off gravity. Lift this up a little bit, hit play. So this can be pretty fun. So you can hit this, then it stops, you see? Again, not Earth physics, but that might be something interesting that you'd like to have. So come back here and maybe turn this down to 5 and this down to 5. Turn off angular damping. Now you have no force to stop the rotation. So since there's no gravity and there's no friction here, there's no other object to stop this, it's going to keep spinning. So I can get in here and then I can stop it. That might be a cool effect for something in your world. So there you go. There's a quick look at the various different physics tabs that you have available to you in Unreal Engine. Do what I did. Go ahead and play around with these. Keep in mind that some of the ones like the linear and angular damping, you really need to have something like this tower or the no gravity setup here to kind of get a better grasp on what they are doing.